a lot to talk about today, a lot to talk about. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about hair extensions, everything to do with hair extensions, weave if you may. I got a lot of questions on the hair extensions I wear. I also am going to start doing reviews for hair companies and the hair that I have in. I'm going to be doing a review this week. So I'm like, hey, I don't really want to put a video out before they actually know that I have credibility. I've been wearing hair extensions since I was 15. I've been getting sew-ins since I was 16 and I'm 20 years old now. I have a little bit of experience on, you know, weave extensions and hair extensions and clip-ins and all of that. First, we're going to talk about the types of weave. So there are cheaper alternatives. There's virgin hair, there's Remy hair, there's clip-in extensions. Cheaper versions you may know as synthetic hair or pack hair. You can find this at your local beauty supply store. Those I never really bought before. I don't really have a lot of experience with. Synthetic hair you really can't flat iron or put a lot of heat on, or if any heat, because it's made of like plastic fibers. And I know human hair, pack hair, that's usually like 10 bucks or $5 for a pack. It's not really good quality hair. You'll get a lot of tangles, a lot of naps. It's just, I personally don't do that type of hair, but if you are going to do that hair, there's a trillion videos on YouTube that describes what pack and synthetic hair does and how you can take care of it and all that stuff. However, this video is going to be my knowledge of virgin hair. So virgin hair, you have Indian, Brazilian, Malaysian, Peruvian, Russian, Eurasian. There's different types of hair, like the Fumi hair I know is trending, but I don't have an experience with that. These are the ones that I know about, I have had before, and I'm going to talk about. First, Indian hair. It's very, very silky. If you have coarse hair, I do not recommend it. It's very hard to blend your hair with it. It's a very silky texture. It has high luster and it's hard to blend. Brazilian hair is more of a silky texture, but it's more coarse than Indian hair. Love Brazilian hair. I currently have in Brazilian loose wave right now by DY Hair 777 and I love it. This is 4 bundles, so that's why it's so thick, but it does blend very well with my hair. So if you have a looser curl pattern, you can definitely get away with Brazilian hair, but if you have a very tight curl pattern, then I wouldn't suggest Brazilian hair. Malaysian hair is very thick, but it is silky. I love this hair. It's not necessarily coarse, but it's not necessarily thin. It's a great hair texture. I love Malaysian hair. It doesn't have a high luster, so it looks very natural, but I would say that it's not necessarily your coarsest hair. So if you're going for like a very coarse texture, this might not be the one for you. Peruvian hair is very, very coarse. It's the coarsest texture I have ever worked with. I like Peruvian hair if I'm trying to do a curly hair look. If you want a bone, sleek, straight look, Peruvian hair is not the hair for you. I am sorry, it is not. If you want more of that, I straighten my hair but it looks like I blowed it out look, then that's for you. You get Peruvian straight. But if you want like bone, silk straight look, don't get Peruvian. Eurasian hair comes from Eastern Europe. Not coarse at all, very thin, good for clip-ins. Kind of Indian texture, but it's more silky than that, so that's Eurasian hair. Russian and Chinese hair, they kind of favor themselves. I love Russian hair. I had a blunt cut. It was like really blunt, straight hair, so thick. It is so thick. Chinese hair is also very thick, but they're silky. They have a high luster, and Russian hair is thicker than Chinese hair, but you will not get a curl out of either of them. So if you want to always wand your hair and curl it and stuff, it's not going to hold no matter what hairspray you use. I'm just telling you the experience I have. Those are the types of hairs that I have dealt with. The experience of the basic hairs that you will see, like Brazilian, Malaysian, Indian type hairs like that, that is what you're going to see. And those are the types of silkiness, the lusters that you're going to see on the hair. Now, there's different types of patterns when it comes to weave. You have straight, you have body wave, you have natural wave, loose wave, water wave, deep wave, curly, and then kinky curly. Straight is straight. It might be a little bit thicker, it might be a little bit thinner depending on the type of hair you're getting. Indian hair, it's going to look very thin. If you get Malaysian, it's going to look very full. Body wave, I'm not a fan. It says that it's like has this little curl pattern. It doesn't. Any body wave I've ever gotten, it's always remained straight, so not really a fan. This is loose wave hair, but as you can see, there is a wave pattern, and this hair is actually curly at the ends, which I love loose wave texture. Water wave is more of a curl pattern. It's very, very loose though, but it is still like a wave curl going on, but it is tighter than a loose wave. Deep wave, it's not a wave, it's a curl. I don't care what anybody says. If you want like a curly hair that's not like Afrocentric, but it's like very maintainable, like a ringlet kind of, but at the end it gets like to a spiral. I love deep wave hair if I want a curly look. Curly hair, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's like ringlets. It's just curly hair. I can't really explain it. Kinky curly is very Afrocentric hair. If you're a natural girl that just kind of wants, you know, a break from your Afrocentric hair. If it's more of a tighter curl, this is great hair for you if you want to keep that look. Or if you want to do clip-ins and just make your, you know, afro look more fuller or your hair look more fuller. Kinky curly is great for you if you have a tighter curl. Now, with these patterns, a 24-inch straight bundle is going to be longer than a 24-inch kinky curly bundle. If you have your hair and it's 24 inches straight, that is completely stretched out. Curly hair is going to be shorter because they stretch it out. So if it's stretched out and it's 24 inches, even though it really might be 18 inches when it's like back to its normal curl pattern, that's what they're going to give you. You want longer curly hair and you're thinking, oh, 18 inches is good. You really might want to get 22 because it's not going to stretch out. Also with these patterns, when you get the hair, it's going to look very uniformed. It's going to look like this, and it doesn't look like that. When you wash your hair, all the patterns will change. I will promise you. That's why Body Wave kind of has like that S pattern, but when you wash it, it's totally different. So you really want to make sure that you can kind of find a picture online to show you what they all look like after they've been washed and dried, because it's going to be different than the picture they show you on the vendor's site or AliExpress or wherever you're buying your hair from. So now, where to buy your hair? So many places now. Personally, me, I do not think that you should be spending astronomically a crazy amount of money on weave. You should do your research. I have no problems with AliExpress. I have never had a problem with AliExpress vendors because I did my research. If you see that there's only 30 bundles that have been sold and 25 of them say that, hey, it's not good hair and it's like a 1-star rating, but the hair is like 20 bucks, then don't buy the hair. Like, it's just common sense, kind of. I know some people are just totally against AliExpress and they go to like Princess Hair Shop or any other vendors and buy like all this money on this hair that you're only, especially if you're doing sew-ins. I don't do sew-ins anymore, I do U-parts. But if you're doing sew-ins, you're cutting these tracks and you're only using this hair maybe once or twice, it's not worth, you know, $600, $700. If you do decide to go to different vendors, I know there's vendors on Instagram now, there's vendors on YouTube. Do your research. That's the biggest thing that I can tell you, is to do your research. AliExpress, I love them. I can find any hair that I want with any style, texture, pattern that I want. DY Hair 777, they are on AliExpress, and I've had this hair since August on a U-part wig, and I just keep installing it, and it's just lovely. It's great. So you have to do your research on where you want to buy your hair from. So when you get your hair, what you should be looking for is, this will just be easier if I get a track. Hold on one second. I'm back. A track of hair that I just have laying around. It's just some random weave I have in my house. A lot of people don't know the terminology of like extensions. This is technically a track right here. This right here is a track. This whole piece of weave. When you first get your bundle, you want to make sure that the hair is thick. If it's not thick, then like, what did you pay for? You want to check your ends to make sure that the ends aren't frayed. There's not a lot of split ends. You want to make sure that there's not a lot of gray hairs. If you see any like fibers that doesn't feel like hair, you want to talk to your vendor, because it might be synthetic blend, and that's not good because they're cheating you out of your money. Especially if you get it from AliExpress, the hair usually always feels like the super bouncy soft. Wash the hair because it might turn on you. You never know. This right here is called the weft right here. That's called the beard of the tracks. These are to make sure that the hairs stay in line, and you want to make sure that the construction of the weft is really nicely done, because this is going to prevent the shedding. If the weft is done like bad and there's all these strings, you know, popping out and stuff like that, there's going to be a lot of shedding because the construction of the weft isn't holding the hairs that are supposed to be in line with it. The beards just kind of protect the top of it to make sure that the shedding doesn't happen as well. If the beards are all frayed and poking out in different directions, you want to make sure you contact your vendor as well. But other than that, that's really all that you need to know about weave. Kind of start a video for people who are new, because a lot of people just don't know. So with that being said, I have nothing else to talk about hair extensions. If you have any other questions, please leave a comment down below. If you're not already subscribed to the family, please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.